Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles,
Hello.
and we're going to talk about Harry Potter casting choices and backlash against the backlash over Severus Snape being portrayed by a black guy.
Yes, because it's official now. It's confirmed.
It's official. We knew I think they were fishing to see what the reaction would be, and honestly, given the reaction, given some of the reasons that people had for the reaction, I would have been like, you know what, maybe this isn't the right character to race swap, and we're going to talk about that because given his backstory, there's going to be a whole nother layer of racism baked into it now.
If they follow the book, which they promised they're going to follow the book. But it's interesting. People were mad because they said, we're going to follow the books almost exactly. And the first thing you do is race swap the one character that's described very clearly in the books as being, not black. And
Yeah.
of course, if you comment, you are a racist. It's not racism. It's just pointing out the obvious.
So let's talk about the obvious before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Now, this show is being done by the people that did His Dark Materials, which I've said before. I usually do not have a problem with race swapping if it makes sense, if it's not the focal point of the show. It depends on the actor because they did some race swaps in His Dark Materials. I thought the actors they hired were very, very good. And I'm not saying that the guy playing Snape isn't a good actor, but this probably wasn't the character to swap.
Well, no, and the thing is, to be mean, but like His Dark Materials doesn't have, I think, the presence, the
Right.
fan base, the history, the knowledge of characters that Harry Potter has. Like people don't know characters from His Dark Materials, but pretty much anybody can tell you, like Dumbledore and Snape and Harry and stuff like that. They can tell you that.
Yeah, and I think what's strange about this is we're looking at the Hogwarts professors, and they all look like they were described in the books, except for Snape.
Yeah,
Like he's
pretty much.
literally the only one they swapped out. And the thing is that again, given his backstory, do we want to spoil that? Given his backstory with Harry's dad, he probably was not the character to swap.
Okay, a couple things here. Harry's dad bullied the crap out of him, hung him upside down from a tree.
From a tree, yes.
They hang the black guy from a tree. It's probably not going to go very well. He also bullied him incessantly, and there's the whole thing about him being the professor of the dark arts.
I know. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
The jokes write themselves. It was really, really stupid, and especially when people are mad about it, you could not in one breath say, we are going to do a show based on the books, making it as accurate to the book as possible. And then the next breath say, hey, by the way, Snape, the one character who was very, very vividly described as being pale and, bad pallor and all that is now black. That makes no sense.
Yeah. And again, it's not knocking this guy's acting ability. No. I'm sure he's a fine actor. It's just this seems very poorly thought out. And if it was intentional to be like, let's add a layer of racism, then Harry's dad was basically a grand wizard.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
So it's like, geez.
Yeah, and the thing is, some people pointed out in comments about this. They said racism, you don't need to add a new layer of a racism discussion. There already was a racism discussion throughout the entire series about the mudbloods and stuff like that. You do not need to make this put another layer to it. And there are other characters you could have probably, race swapped and would have had less pushback to. You still would have probably got pushback in general because it's lazy. But you probably would have gotten less pushback if you race swapped another character who might not have been, described so well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, other characters, I think you could have gotten away with it more, but Snape in particular is an issue. So we'll go through the casting, and then I want to bring up this article from a couple of weeks ago. This is actually Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue, which teaches kids how to do anal.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very progressive. They're a very progressive publication. But they're even like, yeah, this was a huge mistake to make Snape black.
It is. Mistake. And you know what? I'm tired of the cheap ass, it's your racist comment. It's not about racism because it's like you probably could have race swapped other characters and it's still lazy, but it would have made more sense. Snape is like the one character that doesn't make sense. It's like Snow White. When you have one character called Snow White because she's named Snow White, skin as white as snow, it's probably not smart to make her not white. I mean, it's really not rocket science here. And we don't even know yet what the trio is going to be cast. I guarantee you at least Hermione or one of them is not going to be white.
I can almost guarantee it. So this is who they have so far. John Lithgow as Dumbledore, which I agree with. I think that's a good casting choice. Remember, I mean, this is the thing. Like, there's no making anybody happy with this because there are people that are mad that this show literally exists. Like, they're angry because J.K. Rowling was supposed to be homeless in a box out in the streets somewhere, streets of London, begging for money. And they're getting more and more brand deals for Harry Potter. They're adding more Harry Potter to the theme parks. Now they got the show. But, they did promise us, a pretty much a 1-to-1 adaptation.
They have made that one of their main things that they led with.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have, Dumbledore is John Lithgow. We have Janet McTeer as McGonagall. Paapa Essiedu is who's Snape. Nick Frost, which I totally agree with, is
Hagrid. I agree too. That was a good call.
Luke Fallon, not sure who's going to be Quirrell, so he's not going to be around long. Paul Whitehouse is Filch, and again, they all look the part, right? Like, except for that guy. But so I think they were testing the waters to see how people would react. But they even said, look, HBO is describing the show as a quote unquote faithful adaptation of the globally recognized J.K. Rowling book series. So if it's going to be a faithful adaptation, well, one, you've already got the casting wrong, but two, you're going to have to do those scenes with a black guy, and it's going to be a lot more awkward.
Yeah, it's going to be really effing weird.
They said they're going to explore every corner of the wizarding world. Each season is going to bring Harry Potter and its incredible adventures to new and existing audiences, per the official description. And it's Gardner, who I think did His Dark Materials, I'm pretty sure, which I liked. But like you said, His Dark Materials is not in the same league, even remotely in the same league as Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the only peers I think Harry Potter have would be something like Star Wars.
See, I think like same with Disney's live action remakes. I think you can get away with things easier when it's not so well known or widely regarded. Like Alice in Wonderland, they made them a little different, but Alice in Wonderland is known, but it wasn't like the same level as, say, Snow White. And it works better with some. Like, people always said they should do Treasure Planet or Atlantis or Hercules, or which they might do, and all that, because people they didn't have the audience that other live actions like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Lion King did. And I think that you might be able to get away with more if you're going to make changes to those. But the same here, His Dark Materials, most people statistically don't know the characters. People watched it, but not enough to know all that. Pretty much everybody knows Harry Potter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And people, they picture Alan Rickman. I mean, I understand it's very hard to replace Alan Rickman, but you replaced everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? You're replacing everybody else. And there are some damn fine actors. And actually, I would say the Harry Potter movies were who's who of British actors. Like, the best of the best were in those movies. And, if you know what I'm saying, like that was the explanation I'd heard, was they're like, well, we don't want to try to be Alan Rickman, so we're going to go in a totally different direction. I'm like, yeah, but then don't say this is going to be a faithful recreation.
Right. It's
adaptation of the books.
And I get not you're not be able to place him, because you're not going to be able to. You're going to be hard pressed to find someone who does this good. But that being said, you don't promise people faithful adaptation and then turn around and be like, hey, but we're race swapping Snape, right, of all the characters.
So this is this came from Teen Vogue, and I was shocked. They said in this op-ed, cultural critic Ian Artin makes an argument against the potential casting decision of race bend Severus Snape in the Harry Potter television reboot, using past toxic and racist fandom behavior as a cautionary tale. Well, it's not just that. It's Harry's dad is going to hang a black guy from a tree.
Exactly.
It's
right.
Like, that is just not going to play well. People are going to be really pissed. Then the next thing will be like, oh, you have to change that. And they might even do it themselves. God, look at all the ads.
But they're going to change it. They're going to have to change it. So either they're going to make him basically being, a complete racist jerk, which makes it even worse, or they're going to have to take it out, which is not what you promised people. So the simple solution would have been to cast someone that looked like Snape. That's all you had to do.
Yeah. So it said, the negative backlash didn't just come from racist people. Fandom has a rich history of racist backlash to casting changes.
It's not racist when you have an established fucking character. Kind of sorry, Mom, but not really. Established character, well known. iconic character, always been a certain way. When you race swap them, it's cheap. It's basically a hand-me-down. It's actually more insulting than if you made a new character or whatever for this person. It is a cheap-ass thing to do. And people are going to point out, oh my gosh, this character has always been this way. Snow White is Snow White because her skin is white as snow. It's not racism when you're pointing out the obvious. I'm so tired of that lazy ass, you're just racist. No, you're not a racist when you point out the obvious thing. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense because you're going to follow the book as accurately as possible, except, of course, people are going to call it out. You have a valid reason to do so. So that's bullshit. Stick that shit back up your ass where it belongs, and go stand in a corner.
So said that apparently, people, racists were angry about it.
No,
racist.
It's not racist.
Basically white people, but also black people and brown critics who immediately saw the troubling narrative aspects of making Snape a black man. Yes. Again,
very troubling aspects.
Familiar with the books, probably the last character you want to do that to. Black faces, of course, are being erased in TV. They're talking about DI getting rolled back. They said it's chaos, and they said it leads to further harassment of black people. In theory, getting to see one of our generation's most interesting black actors take on a role in a show that's sure to garner attention is a good thing. It should be a point of celebration. But in reality, we know just how bleak things could get for Essiedu should he be formally cast, which he has been, because we've been here before.
I mean, people are getting mad, but here's the thing. It's not racism. It's a valid point. I'm so tired of the lazy, tiresome, predictable narratives. It's like, it doesn't work anymore. I'll tell you what, I've seen more people complain about it than I've seen think it was a great idea. That much I can tell you, across many social media platforms.
This is what's interesting, though. We've watched, tentatively excited as a black actor gets placed in the center of an adaptation, poised to take on a character originally coded to be white. He wasn't coded to be white. He was explicitly described as being a white guy, a pasty ass, nerdy white guy. Actually, to be honest, Alan Rickman didn't really fit the book description either. He didn't have the goatee and he was too old, but he was amazing. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but they're talking about the actress who played, was it Noma Dumez Wenzi? But she was Hermione, the black Hermione, and that was a whole thing. And that happened. And so there are countless other examples. We're talking about Shooty got one, Doctor Who. That's not the issue with Doctor Who. Doctor Who's got a lot more issues than the color of Shooty's skin.
Here we go. John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran. Bullshit.
Oh my God.
I'm going to stop you right. Who is this person? I need a name. Who is this idiot?
Name.
I missed it.
Ayan Artin.
Ayan. Hey, Ayan. You're full of shit because I'm tired of this lazy narrative. John Boyega, people wanted him to be the main character. They were mad that they did him dirty. Kelly Marie Tran, people like Kelly Marie Tran, but her character was shit. And that wasn't why she wasn't racist stuff. Her character sucked. And I think if anybody did it, it was a couple people. And then you keep trying to paint the whole fandom with the broad brush in an attempt to control people to do what you want. Kiss my ass. People aren't doing it anymore. You got away with it for a couple years. People are like, no, you're not going to, you don't get to sit there and call me names because I'm calling out the obvious. No.
So they're talking about Hunger Games too. They're saying because Rue, she's supposed to have dark skin in the books, and people were upset about it. They said she wasn't dark skinned enough and all that. It's like,
it wasn't enough. That's the other one they keep trying to do. You can still be, identify that you actually are, physically a certain race, certain gender, whatever, but it's not enough. So
basically what they do is they go through the whole thing of like, just so you know, racism is bad. And there's racism and the fans are racist and everybody's racist. But then we get to the point. Finally, we get to the point. They have to make sure that, they're not agreeing with you because you're just mad because it was a black man, not a white man. No, that's not the real issue. But here's where we would agree. They said Severus Snape is a cruel, acerbic man whose treatment of his students, particularly Harry, for obvious reasons, borders on abuse. Reading the books, you spend entire novels despising this man and questioning his loyalties, deeming him unfit to be a teacher. The Harry Potter series also deals with the idea of blood purity.
Yes, that's what yes.
Yes, Snape being the half-blood prince is considered inferior he's considered inferior to a pure-blooded wizard like Harry because of his Muggle heritage. It isn't hard to see how J.K. Rowling's world echoes the real-life racial hygiene white supremacists are preoccupied with.
That was the point. There's already a story within the story about this. The races, of other characters, they have diversity in the story. I mean, of course, it's mostly white people, but it's written by a white woman. And here's the thing: if you wrote characters that weren't white, you get in trouble for writing characters that aren't like you.
Yeah.
Just a couple years ago, how dare you?
Placing a dark-skinned black man within that context and expecting an already militant fan base who are gagging for any reason to dislike him is merely fanning the flames of hateful fan behavior. Actually, again, it's kind of going to be weird to see Harry's dad put him in a tree. Just saying.
I'm also, we were talking about fanning the flames of bad behavior. I would argue articles like this fan the flames of bad behavior. You just went down telling everybody who doesn't agree with you, or it's like, that doesn't make sense. You're basically a racist. And then they're going to probably attack this guy because, I mean, I don't think you should attack the actor. It's not their fault, obviously.
Right.
But these articles are meant to incite people to get mad and go attack other fans and go attack people. That's what they're doing. They themselves are inciting bad fan behavior.
Yeah. And there again, there's no winning this one because we're going to have people that don't think this should exist at all because of J.K. Rowling's views on
well, that's the other
stuff.
side. And the thing is, I can tell you, though, I was across several different social media platforms. I didn't go to Blue Sky, though, today to see what people were thinking about it. And the majority of people think it's stupid. They think that if you're going to, they honestly don't mind a race swap of another character, but they thought that one was just, that was one. And they had to have done it on purpose at this point. Because if there's one character you don't race swap because it's very, very well described, it's Snape. And that's the one character they chose. Do not tell me it was unintentional.
Yeah, I think they're probably thinking, well, it'll make his backstory even more tragic. But I'm like, yeah, then it makes Harry's dad pretty much irredeemable.
Mm-hmm. They don't care because they're going to get the message of racism because he's mudblood. So we have to get that message. He's a half-blood prince. So we got to get that message across. That's why he has to be black, because they're going to probably make his mom was white or something, like that, because he's half-blood.
He's half-blood.
I mean, I think it's shit, but that's probably what they're going to do. They're so dumb. They're so predictable and so stupid, and I'm so tired of it. It's just I'm just over this shit. It's just
noise at this point.
Don't do it then.
Yeah, well, no, he's actually saying, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because they're like, with all the stuff going on about Rowling and all the stuff going on with the fandom, is the cost of representation worth it? And this person said, no. As things currently stand, the answer is no. I would choose the mental health and safety of our black talent every time over the momentary exposure that taking on these kinds of roles can provide. And yeah, there's going to be, I mean, Snape is he's a nasty character until the big twist. He is pretty much an irredeemable piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And people, they're gonna be like, okay, so of all the good teachers or all the white folks.
Well, the one isn't a good teacher.
Well,
that's it was like
the mostly good teachers. Spoiler: the mostly good teachers are all the white folks, and then you cast the black guy as the miserable piece of shit that you will not find out the plot twist until many, many years down the road. So this guy's going to be getting all kinds of hate from people for years, He
gets killed, and he's defensive against the dark arts teacher.
Yeah, it was a very poorly thought out idea.
It really was. And then calling the fans racist for questioning it is not helping. And these news outlets, all you're doing by making those stupid assumptions and stupid comments is making people not want to watch the show. That's all you're doing. You are making it worse. If you're out there actively attacking people and calling them racist, you are doing nothing but driving people further away from the show, and they're not going to watch it.
That is true. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see how it goes, because they're talking, 10 years. I'm like, is John Lithgow going to make it? Is he going to make it 10 years?
I don't know, honestly.
Because he's almost 80 now, I think. I don't know. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up.
The other Dumbledore didn't make it, past.
That's true. You can always swap. You can always swap. Oh my God! So this guy quits. If Snape quits, be like, and suddenly he's white. Polyjuice potion.
Yeah, right.
Ta-da! Magic. It's like, and he's ginger. Oh my God! All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.